Hi, my name is Stashina Lowry and I'm the founder of the CEO SAHM Movement, here to help stay-at-home moms all around the world embrace their executive power within, to elevate their future, family, and their finances. Now in this video, I want to ask you a question, and one that I promise will present you with an option to change not only your life in every way that you can imagine, but more importantly, the future of your children. Before I get to that, I do want to say thank you so much. If anyone knows the valuable time and attention of a mother, it is me, as I am a full-time mom to my amazingly divine sons, Brendan and Christian, and I'm certain that your children are equally as precious to you as well. So again, thank you. Now, my journey as a stay-at-home mom begins in 2012 when I intentionally entered this position, and my first child was actually a stepson from my marriage, who was 7. Less than a year later, we welcomed 2 premature sons at 28 weeks each, but 7.5 months apart, both born in 2011. I know, clearly anything is possible with 2 miracle boys as living proof. But my fairy tale life took a dark twist when I found myself in a dark state of depression and anxiety, and I thought it was just me until I saw through the years that this was common and even expected as a part of motherhood. I'm not sure how you became a stay-at-home mom, but I dreamt of being a mother and knew with every fiber of my being that caring for my kids full-time and hands-on was how I was going to go about motherhood. And to finally have arrived and to see that the dream was more of a nightmare and a tolerated one collectively didn't sit well with me. You know, despite my pain, I refused to sit back and accept the status quo as fact. What I and so many moms are going through is not normal, and there is a way out. I remember at the time even trying to logic it out, thinking, well, what if it was just the new moms? You know, moms with kids 10 and under who were not used to being a stay-at-home mom. Wishful thinking. By that point, I had reached out to veteran and seasoned stay-at-home moms, only to find that they too have been through it and showed very visible effects due to having accepted this way of thinking. They had never found the cure in their very own lives, and the negative effects of those years of living in that state of mind was apparent, and it certainly was not what I wanted to model 20 to 50 years from now, for myself or for my sons. Again, it is collectively accepted as just being a part of motherhood and stay-at-home mom, because so many excuses are made when no one has talked about the truth openly. No one talks about the solution collectively if they're even aware of it, and it's clear by the generations of moms suffering in silence. I wish someone in the stay-at-home mom community looked me in my eyes and told me 4 words: you have a choice. I heard things like, you're gonna get through this, you'll be okay, you'll survive, I did too. No cure, just support on getting through motherhood. Moms, I didn't want to get through motherhood. I chose this position. I wanted out of the pain. I wanted to enjoy motherhood without the depression and anxiety. Again, I didn't want to go through it, and I suspect you don't either. So I say to every mother who will hear this message both now and in the future, it isn't just the way motherhood goes, and certainly depression and anxiety should not last years and decades, as I have seen be the reality for far too many. When I could not find the answer locally, I did take to the online world for help. And lo and behold, there it was, more of the same. And talk of surviving. The word surviving should be read when a person is Googling how to deal with an encounter with a bear or natural disaster, but anything but motherhood, one of the oldest and most ancient jobs in the universe. And yet in 2019, with planes in the air, smartphones that give us access to the entire civilized world, and people working on cures for cancer, yet no one bothered to teach a stay-at-home mom, here it goes, how to do it without a Zoloft or a Xanax prescription. I didn't want drugs. I wanted out of the pity party of moms saying, yeah, me too. I wanted out of the miserable state I was afflicted with. I wanted the cure-all. To put my pain in perspective, one night, I sat in our den room where everyone in the house was sleeping, and I remember staring at the computer screen feeling numb from crying. I had the thoughts of leaving in the middle of the night and never returning. Now, before I'm judged, not all thoughts that run through the mind are ours, but that thought was absolutely a direct reflection of the dark state I was in. This was such a horrendous feeling for me, as I knew help was needed fast because I was at my breaking point from the inside. And again, I refused to accept this as reality. The next day, my life changed forever. At that point, it was clear that no one was going to help me. I had to help myself. And I had seen professional therapists, My husband at the time tried everything he could, and it was just me in this darkness. I can recall the precise moment my life changed like it was yesterday. This time I was in our living room, and I asked my source a question. What exactly do I want? A light switch went off, like that, and I became fully aware of my ability to choose consciously. The pain was gone, depression gone, anxiety gone. I was on fire with passion from that moment forward to take it to the world of stay-at-home moms. Because asking my source that question enabled me to see, feel, and know I have the power of choice in any given moment. And moms, if I could make that choice in one of the darkest moments of my life as a mother, anything was possible for my life, my sons, my future, and my finances. And if I had done it, as I have over the past 8 years, it was time to lead other moms in the same direction. Now, in that moment as well, the CEO SAHM movement was born. The power of consciousness and choice had to be taken to the world of moms, had to be taught, had to be brought to those suffering, because no one was there to assist them collectively. Since no one had taken up the task, I also made the choice to do it. Not for me, but for every mom suffering, so the next generation can know there's a better way that exists before it's too late. And speaking of too late, hitting rock bottom gave me the audacity to ask for the dream life. You see, in that moment of grand clarity, asking my source what I wanted, it was to be a powerful, successful, and wealth consciousness stay-at-home mom, which is what I aspire for you as well. Now, if you gasped at those words, I get it. When a mom is faced with all kinds of circumstances, especially internal anguish like depression and anxiety, who is thinking that big and that bold? And you might be thinking, I just want a good night's rest, dinner on time, or time with the spouse. I get it. But the question need not be, why are we asking so much? The question is, why are we asking ourselves that much? Why aren't the world's most powerful group of women, moms, able to choose that life, power, experience that life successful, and have the most elevated of finances, abundance, and wealth consciousness? Moms, please hear me. Why are we suffering? Why should the women that hold the love of a man and that of the population, children, not be equipped and empowered with the wisdom that has enabled history's greatest, wisest, and wealthiest of powerful people? This is what the CEO SAHM movement is bringing to every home it is needed. The power of choice and the audacity for us moms to thrive with the power of conscious choice. The CEO SAHM movement is about bringing this awareness to us, and together we rise. Together we can get it for our future family and our finances. For it is not an option anymore. Change is here. Being powerless, unsuccessful, and financially poor in one of the most abundant, most successful, and powerful positions such as motherhood, and being a partner of value beyond words shouldn't be an option, because it doesn't make any sense. And the CEO SAHM movement calls nonsense to the misalignment and the hell of a life being experienced by far too many. And it's not a dream for me anymore. It is a reality, and one that every mom should have. And many moms do, but it's not taught collectively, and this will be the correction. We need to know this and act upon it as stay-at-home moms, because if something needs to be changed, we know how to do it from within. And the elevated life I speak of is now available to us all, because together we can rise and raise our standards in this position for the better. Now, clearly the higher-ups agreed with me, because within days of making that one choice, my first book poured out of me. I remember my hand was writing so fast I could barely keep up, and published a couple months later for the Amazon Kindle. 8 years later, I sit before you exemplifying all that I speak of, because from this moment forward, you will hear more of the CEO SAHM movement, which aims to assist every mom to thrive in a position, and by someone who gets it and feels for you more than you will ever know. Allow me to explain why wealth, if it even needs explaining. In addition to knowing that you deserve to be happy at flourishing in all areas affecting your home life, comes the conversation of moms and wealth consciousness. You see, we shouldn't just be discussing this when there's a need for money. Mothers should be on the forefront of the creation of more than enough of it. And I say again, times have changed. Money and moms now go together like babies in diapers. If it affects our home life and our children, it is our business. Now, at the time I was married, a stay-at-home mom, my husband was a great provider. I did have the traditional stay-at-home mom role at first. I wanted for nothing, and even then I knew I needed to be financially educated because I wasn't. I knew it was a problem when he would speak finances and I didn't really know what was going on. I mean, after all, and if it's one of our primary jobs to teach our kids on all matters of the mind, therefore made money something essential. Because I didn't have to make money while I was married to my ex-husband, but I studied it like I did. Because why should we have to choose between being a stay-at-home mom and the creation of abundance? I mean, I get it. Traditionally, the partner who works makes the money and the other half stays at home traditionally. Here is where I get real with you and why I have included wealth consciousness as a mandatory topic of discussion and enhancement within our positions. I have seen so many marriages strained, stressed, and put at risk because of not the lack of money, because there is no such thing, but the lack of financial education and prosperity consciousness. Please hear this as clear as I'm going to say it. Financial literacy, intelligence, and ability is for every man and woman in this world that subscribes to the system we all are in. Just as a man is affected by the emotional state of his wife, a wife is affected by the state of their finances. Not to mention our kids need financial literacy more than ever because moms, guess what? It is not being taught in schools. Here's the gut check for us all. If moms don't really know it, and if it's not being taught in schools, well, may I ask, who is teaching our kids? The answer for far too many of us moms is the answer we know well. Failure, and lots of it. Trial and error is how most of us learn because no one taught us, and this is how our children will learn by default if there is not a change, but there will be because the time has come. Again, when I was married, as I am now a divorced stay-at-home mom, I experienced the pain and powerlessness a woman is subject to when she gets a divorce as a stay-at-home mom. Now, I do not like to use the word unfair, but my God, is it awful to lose a marriage and your source of income and be thrust into the world that doesn't accept stay-at-home mom as a skill on a resume. I would know. And I know stay-at-home moms who got a divorce and unfortunately never recovered emotionally because they lost it all. I mean, they had one secure job, take care of the home and kids, and the spouse works. And when that plan doesn't work out for the 50% of Americans faced with that reality, what happens to the stay-at-home mom? I hope that is a reality you never are faced with, but many have. The most precious generation of moms I know went straight into the motherhood out of love and service, and yet the laws are the laws, and they are not out to protect us from life-altering circumstances such as divorce. Therefore, making financial consciousness, creation, and elevation and preparation even more crucial. Because this is being done in the CEO SAHM movement. You will meet moms who are doing it and have done it. Not to mention the burden put on a man in a divorce situation as well as in a marriage to be the only financially fit one. I think every man can agree that financial conversations with the wife go a lot better when she too understands money and the kids as well. I mean, it's a life changer. Here's another painful circumstance that occurs when we don't have it together. The sea of SAHMs that are forced to stay in toxic marriages because they don't have a financial alternative. There are stay-at-home moms that have to leave their kids in daycare because not enough money is coming in for them to maintain their positions as stay-at-home moms. All to highlight the need, not option, for stay-at-home moms to become financially educated and empowered. If not for yourself, for your job as a stay-at-home mom, for your home, husband, and again, your kids. We also rise to be the courage and strength for the moms who do not yet have it. We do it for each other, for the love. I mean, how many moms watching this can bravely admit that the lack of money consciousness in any form has been the unfortunate cause of disruption and distance in your very own marriage? I know I can recall so many large and small fights due to money, and we had a good amount of it, but it didn't matter. No one talks about this at large, any of it, and that is why I have dedicated my life to serving the stay-at-home mom community, because it's needed more than ever, and make sure it's available for every full-time mom to experience the power of what I speak of, to ensure that there is help when it is needed again for the stay-at-home mom community. And as much as I want every mom listening to know that you can elevate every inch of your life with what the principles that are being taught within this movement, I want to drive home a point that there is so much more at play here, so much more at stake than us. Our country wouldn't want George Washington to be president today or any other president from the past. Now, to speak in an analogy that we all can instantly feel, no one, including me, wants a cell phone from 5 or so years ago. And that is because the old served its purpose and the new is required to keep up with the future. New times calls for new leaders, as history and Puerto Rico is going through right now. People are rising up for change, and in order for change to occur, the old has to go because it does not work. For the president or for us as parents. Now, what does that have to do with being a stay-at-home mom? I'm not sure if you have noticed, but the children being born in this generation and the generations to come are highly evolved. What worked for grandparents' generation will not suffice for the kids of today. And if you don't like leaving your kids with your grandparents, you know exactly what I mean. Old ways create the same old results. We are the leaders on the home front. If our kids are advanced and highly evolved, what should we be? Preparing moms for the children to come is no longer an option. Personal development and power never should be treated as such or neglected. It is imperative that moms learn to be aware of and master our higher faculties as we raise children that need to know their very own. And if personal development and mastery of the mind was achieved at home, it's a game changer. In order for that to occur, in order for our children to get the very best 18 preliminary years of their life, and for you to get enjoyment out of that, let us educate and empower the women that are in this role by supporting the new way. You see, teachers are equipped with knowledge to assist our children in schools, yet there is no one on a global scale assisting the women that are the primary educators of our kids of today. And unlike most calls for reforms and change, in no way, shape, or form am I looking for government reform or to the point to blame anyone, because there's no one to oust or blame. After all, external forces or funds cannot completely alleviate pain or create sustainable, lasting change. Real change can only occur with the desire and choice by an individual first. Now here's the question that I promised. Here's the question that gave my personal power back and allowed me to experience a life beyond my wildest dreams via the power of one choice and many thereafter. I'm presenting a choice to every stay-at-home mom in the sound of my voice. Now, I would say change is coming, but again, change is here. And it is in our children. They need you. You need you. Your partner needs you. The economy needs you. Believe it or not, you are very important and powerful. You know how I know that? Because you're called a mom. And if you flip the word mom upside down, you get the word wow, which is exactly what the world will look like when we're done with it. Will you join the CEO SAHM movement? Will you be counted among the moms that said yes to change with one choice? Will you be called a CEO SAHM? Now, there's nothing to buy, and I'm not selling you anything more than a dream I have made a reality and have seen be the reality for just about every professional in the marketplace. This is exactly what I'm presenting to us on a collective scale. Let us thrive and rise in the same way so many in history have. I am a CEO SAHM, and I'm devoted to you, other moms wanting the elevated life I speak so highly of, but I cannot do this alone, and in joining me, you won't be doing it alone either. I am a consciousness life coach and a personal development professional in many organizations. Helping individuals achieve their goals and master their life is what I do best. And my biggest gain is that I get to give, which fuels my dedication to you. When we master ourselves and we raise the future to know how to do the same, I dare say you will not recognize the generations to come after the CEO SAHM movement goes global. Hopefully in my lifetime, but if not, I am ever so serious when I say I will die trying, because a mother will do anything for her kids. And by your choice to become the very best, we can give our kids a new world. With our children on the forefront of our why, then nothing should stop us from coming together and becoming the change as CEO SAHMs we seek to experience as reality. Lastly, I say this to you, if the human race could agree on one thing, It is that choice is the catalyst for all great change, and that choice is before you. I hope that you will make the choice, as I did in 2012, to elevate your future, family, and finances. Join the Stay-at-Home Mom movement, get connected, and together we rise.